Welcome to Whachacha's Tabletop World, a channel devoted to the love of board gaming. My name is Sweetness Whachacha, and today is my spoiler-free look at Perspectives, a cooperative mystery game. Okay, so let's take a look at the game, how it plays without showing you any of the cards or anything. It's quite innovative, this little game, so let's take a look. Again, I will not be showing you anything about any of the cases themselves. This is spoiler-free. The box itself is a quick case, which illustrates the spirit of the game instead of the actual cases. The game comes with the shortest rule set I've ever encountered, and 3 cases. Each case is divided into 4 parts, which you can play straight through in about 2 hours or so, or break it up into separate games. The folder tells you a brief blurb about the case, as well as a question you should be able to answer before looking at the solution. Additional questions will be revealed when you are ready, and these will be scored. Players will divide the cards evenly, and then the game begins. Each card has an illustration on it. The types of illustrations vary from objects, photographs, security camera footage, emails, letters, graphs, maps, and more. The whole of the game is the players describing the pictures and discussing their theories on what happened. The players can agree to reveal 1 card to the group if they wish, and can reveal more with a -1 point penalty to their score per picture. When the players feel they have a good grasp of the case, they read and answer the questions and get a score based on how well they did. So, the 4th case actually plays a little bit differently than the first 3. There are no cards. You will use all of the cards that you've accumulated through the first 3 cases, and then the game will play much the same. You'll be using deductions and things to solve the case, and you'll be answering a number of questions, and you'll be scored on how well you did there. So mystery games is a very crowded genre. There's a lot of games in that genre. My friend, actually this belongs to Jesse from Co-op for 2. He was nice enough to loan it to me, and he covers games about that all the time over there. And, you know, it's a very, I love the genre, but most of it revolves around a kind of a similar thing, which is that if you read all the information there is about the case, you're probably going to get the case. You're probably going to understand it all. And so what they have to do is limit your ability to see some of that information. And they usually choose a mechanism which is based on time. And so you only have so much time, so you have to follow leads smartly and make some good decisions and deductions in order to pursue different cards and not read everything. And so that's usually how they do it. But here, it's a very interesting and, as I said, innovative little system where the designer has chosen how to do things in a little bit of a different way, whereas there's no longer any time constraint, there's no information constraint. Now the constraint is just going through that little hurdle of you can't see it all, and you're using your teammates to help you on that, to understand the case, because you can't see a complete picture, which is a very ingenious way of doing it, and it's quite enjoyable. Now, most of these games also have like a lot of reading, which I don't mind. I find that it can be immersive. A lot of people like that immersive style of like reading through a bunch of stuff and understanding a case. But I kind of feel like sometimes it disconnects you from the people you're playing with. One of you's reading this thing and the others are listening and stuff. And this, I mean, first of all, there's no even reading of the rules. You can be up and playing this game within like 2 minutes. You open the box up and you're ready to go. I mean, you've explained 1 or 2 rules and that's it. It's crazily fast to set up and to play and to understand and just be in the thick of it. But I like that there is no reading or disconnect. The whole game and the whole experience is playing the game and interacting with the people around you and trying to understand the case and working together. And I think that's a really cool, fascinating type of game that this turns out to be. It may actually be one of the most approachable mystery games that I know of. I mean, sometimes people can be daunted when you like pull out these cold case games with all these things, papers and files and folders and things. And I think that stuff is great. But I mean, I think a lot of people like this might even be a great gateway game for people in that mystery genre. You could bring this to a party or something, and I think everybody can understand it. You don't have to read a lot. Like I say, you don't have to read a lot of stuff and pull out a lot of components and things. I think this might be the one of the best gateway style games for like a mystery cold case or that kind of genre to dip your toe in a little bit. It's not quite a party game, but there's a lot of discussion. Obviously, it's not like a game like Sleuth or some of these logic Turing machine, these logic kind of puzzle type of games that kind of everybody's silently contemplating. You're thinking a lot, but you're communicating a lot, and I think that's a nice balance. And I know I didn't show you the pictures, so it's kind of hard to understand this concept, but you might think to yourself, it's very easy, just describe what you see. But it's not that easy. Like, you're kind of discovering in real time what's important. You're talking and you're like, okay, well, there's some tile. Oh, wait, a tile. I have some tile on, on a broken piece of tile here. Hold on a second, a receipt for something. And, you might not understand that the color of the shirt might be important. I'm just pulling stuff out of my head, but like, you don't know what's important. And there's a lot of little details and a lot of little things. And there's a variety of the images and stuff as well. And there's a lot of really, really pleasurable deductions. And a lot of these, what we like to call aha moments, where you're like, oh my God, I get it. I understand. What if, do you have this? And then you get to communicate that, and everybody kind of builds that excitement. And I quite like that. I mean, there's a lot of really good puzzles. The puzzles are deductions, they're time-based, they're observational, and then there's not quite escape room style, but there's mathematical things and formulas and things that you might use, that you might find kind of in a light escape room that you're doing as well. And so all of that stuff has a nice variety to it. Now, each case is meaty enough, each episode is meaty enough and distinct enough to be its own enjoyable process, but woven into that whole story, I like that as well, how they all kind of tie together at the end. And then I like the idea that it's kind of like Netflix, right? Do you want to watch one long movie? No. Do you want to watch 3 short episodes that equal that movie? Yes. That's how people are. People like that little episodic type of thing. It's like, you play one and you're like, all right, let's get a cup of coffee. Let's go for a walk, talk about things or whatever, and then play another one. Or if you don't have a lot of time to game, this is kind of nice to be able to, like, over the course of 3 nights. So, you don't, or 4 nights, excuse me, if you don't want to, forget, you want to keep fairly fresh on the information. So it's kind of nice to do that, maybe to cap off each night of the week. So it's got some flexibility there. One of the other interesting things about this game being, I say like it's innovative a little bit, I feel like, so a lot of people in cooperative gaming try to break that alpha player quarterback thing. And I myself love the teamwork aspect of a game, and a lot of times when I get to a game that is very obviously trying to, circumvent that problem of quarterbacking or alpha gaming or whatever, it loses something for me. And it kind of, it feels like clunky or whatever. And a lot of games try to do that, to try to solve that problem, I guess. But I like the teamwork aspect. I like to work together with your teamwork. That's, to me, the whole point of a cooperative game. If I don't want to cooperate with my teammates, I'm going to play a competitive game. And this game actually is incredibly effective at doing both. Number one, you're dependent upon what you see and what you're going to talk about and the deductions you're going to make and stuff. But at the same time, you cannot do, it's impossible. It is essential, it is the foundation of this game, is working with the other players. And I think that that's so fascinating that it does all the best things about playing a cooperative game, and yet it completely breaks, maybe in one of the best ways I've ever seen, the alpha gamer quarterbacking type of problem. And so that's really, really pretty awesome to me as well. So this is a really easy recommend for me. I think it's very innovative. I really enjoyed it. It solves sort of like, it's a breath of fresh air, I think, in a genre that is very wonderful genre, but it can get a little stale and samey, where you kind of see the same thing all the time in this mystery game genre. And it's something very refreshing, and I really enjoyed it. And I hope that this review and overview, even though I know I couldn't show you anything, actually show you the game. Hopefully this has given you an idea whether or not you think this might be something you'll be interested in trying out. Well, but for now, I gotta roll.